Hello and welcome to Odds on Champions League match day 7, penultimate match day in the Champions League. So very important games, especially, in my opinion, the best game this week, PSG Man City, to analyze with 𝐬𝐵𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐵 and with Alain Balnegri. Hello, guys. Ready for a lot of football, and as I said, especially important for both sides, for Luis Enrique's men and Guardiola's, this PSG Man City. So guys, stay with us, press the like, subscribe, let's enjoy the Champions League. And let's start with the two early kickoffs we have on Wednesday. First one is RB Leipzig Sporting. RB Leipzig out already of the next round. 0 points, one of the big disappointments of the Champions League, because it's one of the best teams in Germany, although they are in a bad moment. We saw it at the weekend, how they threw away the game against the poorest team in the competition, against Bochum. They were leading 3-0 to end up drawing. So I kind of like the odds for Sporting. 𝐬𝐵𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐵, top of Portugal. Tell me if they are doing worse without Amorim or better, but probably they will be in the next round with 10 points. Most certainly they will be in the playoffs.
Yes, I mean, they are doing better than the one who replaced Amorim, at least, João Pereira. They are doing better than him, absolutely. And yes, I will trust them against this Leipzig, which I absolutely agree with you, Edu. They are the biggest disappointment in this of this season and this new format of the Champions League. A team that, despite having players like Xavi Simons, Benjamin Sesko, Openda, or Andrés Silva, have only managed to score 6 goals in the competition, just 3 more goals than Young Boys. There is a big chance they won't play Champions League football next season, as they are 5th in the Bundesliga, and they are not much for Eintracht Frankfurt in 3rd. They have Stuttgart in front of them, but which maybe they should get the best out of them. But then Borussia Dortmund is only 6 points behind and will fight for that chance too. Since the start of November, they played 14 games in all competitions and lost 8 of them. You mentioned the 3-3 with Bochum. They were not only leading 3-0, they were leading 3-0 at half-time, Leipzig, on the weekend. The only motivation, I believe, for them at this moment is that it's the last home game of this Champions League, because the last match is going to be away to Sturm Graz. And talking about motivation, that should be high for Sporting Lisbon. Comfortable playoff position, 10 points, a playoff almost guarantee for them. They have done the heavy lifting with Amorim in their first 4 match days. The last 2 matches were defeats with Arsenal and Club Brugge. The last one became a defeat with just 5 minutes to go, so it was painful, I believe, for them. They sack, as I said, Ruben Amorim's replacement, João Pereira, on Boxing Day on December 26. And with the new appointment with Raúl Borges, they have won 3 and have 2 draws, and 2 of those 3 wins have been against Benfica and Porto, although they lost the League Cup against Benfica on penalties. But they're still top of Primeira Liga, and they won 3-0 on the weekend. They have Víctor Gyökeres, who's still scoring for fun. 33 goals in 28 games for them. My take here, Edu, double chance Sporting plus goals over 1.5, odds of 1.72.
Very good odds to back Sporting, although we have Sesko or Openda arrested. Alain, they couldn't play at the weekend. They were suspended in the Bundesliga. And also we have to say that RB Leipzig have been very unlucky in this Champions League as well.
Yes, but very unlucky and under to the level we waited, because the project is improve every season. The last season they lose Dani Olmo, but they don't sold a lot of players, and that one this season was the season of the continuity for Leipzig. And in Europe, it's a shame right now, because stay to the same level to Young Boys means I do very bad. A bad Champions League. In Bundesliga, in spite of that have a bad moment and a good moment, we saw a team really near to the Champions League spot, only 1 point far to Stuttgart. Sporting is difficult to understand the identity of the new Sporting, because Amorim made probably the most brilliant job in Sporting in the last 50 years. And right now for Raúl Borges is hard to working. Sporting lose the Taça de Liga against Benfica 10 days ago. Yes, they won against Rio Ave. Now, what is the level of the Sporting? 𝐬𝐭𝐴 will be stay in Sporting. We have a lot of doubt for this team. I think Sporting right now are concentrated with the Portugal Liga, and in my opinion, Leipzig will be catch some points in this game. I choose a double opportunity, 1x odds 1.67.
Okay, you have opposite thoughts about this game, but if there is a draw, you get your bet correct, because as I said, the odds are very high for both outcomes. Next game is Shakhtar Donetsk, Brest here. Also, we have great odds to back Brest.
Yeah.
Remember, of course, that Shakhtar is playing in Germany. Alain, Brest won the derby in Bretagne at the weekend, getting better in France after a tough start of the season, and in the Champions League they are doing great. They have a good chance to qualify for the top 8, but they have to win this game. They have 13 points. The last game is Real Madrid, so if they win in the Veltins Arena, they will be very close and to qualify for the top 8, and Shakhtar is also out of the next round, basically, with only 4 points. It's very difficult for them to qualify.
Brest is probably the biggest surprise in this Champions League, because who can imagine Brest in the top 8? And it's strange, because we thought Brest will have problem in Ligue 1 or in Champions League, no? But they had maybe not a lot of continuity in Ligue 1, but in Champions League is brilliant. It's brilliant. They are writing the history. In 10 years, probably is the last time we will be so Brest in Champions League. But in 10 years, we will be speak about that Brest. Where is the limit about this team? They start really well the 2025, because they had a difficult schedule. The game against Lyon at home, the 2 derby against Nantes first, in the Rennes second, and they won 3 games. This team is really mature. Now Champions League is back. It's not a squad with 20 players, can be play every 3 days. But this game is a good opportunity to catch a point against Shakhtar, who is playing now in friendly game in Bulgaria against 𝐵𝗲𝗿𝗀, against 𝐶SKA Sofia. Is a really young team, Shakhtar Donetsk. They have interesting offensive potential. If we check the games at home, only against Atalanta, they don't score during this Champions League. For that reason, I choose both teams to score, odds 1.73.
Okay, Leo, how do you see this game? Again, great odds to back Brest, one of the biggest surprises in this Champions League, or the biggest, as Alain was saying.
Yes, absolutely. I will take those odds, 2.85 for Brest to win. Even a double chance, which is 1.53, is still a good too as well. So I will absolutely back them. It's an amazing season, as Alain was saying, and you as well. A massive chance to get straight into the last 16. But for that, they need to win this Wednesday on Matchday 7, because 3 points will leave them exactly at the door of straight qualification. It's a great achievement for Eric Roy and his players. Matchday 8 in the Bernabeu is going to be different situation. That's why it needs to be this Wednesday, and that's why I can't believe the motivation to go and take the 3 points against Shakhtar. They won away already in this competition against Salzburg and Sparta Prague, and then on Matchday 6 they quickly recovered on the defeat with Barcelona on Matchday 5. A goal from 𝐵𝗲𝗿𝗀 was enough to defeat PSV. It's true, and maybe and I don't know best that this Brest has been so good in Champions League, I believe, at soaking pressure and then being supercharged at counter-attacks, because against PSV, they scored against the run of play, and PSV even hit the post twice in the second half. So the luck is running on their side, but they can hit you so well and so fast at the counter. For Shakhtar, only one win in this league stage, and that was against young boys. So the chances of a playoff for them are absolutely slim, and they depend on winning this game, which I don't see it. On Matchday 6, they were trashed by Bayern Munich. It's 9 goals conceded for them in the last 3 matches this Champions League. So again, as I said, might take Brest to win, amazing odds 2.85, but double chance doesn't sound too bad as well.
Okay, games now at 9 p.m. Central European Time. Milan Girona is the first one. Milan, of course, super favorites. Not for their form in Serie A. First defeat for 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 against Juventus. Probably they deserved more, but they were a bit unlucky. But it's a very inconsistent team, as we are analyzing in our Serie A shows. Leo, they are 8th now in Italy, but in the Champions League, they have a great chance to finish also in the top 8, 12 points for consecutive wins in the Champions League, including the Bernabeu, and they have Girona out also of the next round with only 1 win in this Champions League against Slovan Bratislava, and they finish in Zagreb, so they can finish easily with 18 points.
Yeah, absolutely, and the form in Champions League is completely opposite of what we are seeing in terms of their performances in Serie A all season. You said 4 consecutive wins, playoff spot already secured. A win with Girona will keep the chances of a straight qualifications real until Matchday 8. So far, and apart from winning the Super Cup weeks ago, the best of the season for Milan have come in the Champions League, with a win in the Bernabeu included. But well, for a long time, we having this feeling of like not real direction with Milan. I mean, for me, Saturday, Edu, I think the first half, you can say they were all right, or they were a little bit unlucky. They had chances against Juve, but it was a disaster for Milan. They were outclassed by Juventus, who was getting into that game in the own crisis as well. We have seen bad under Paulo Fonseca, but performance in the Derby d'Italia for me was nothing but poor. They're lacking identity. There was plenty of carelessness defending in Turin. I'm not one who used to watch Porto under 𝐿𝐭𝐴𝐳 a lot, but I remember that in important Champions League clashes, like with Arsenal last season, they were like tactically astute, defended as a block, and I don't see any of that yet. But yeah, of course, in his favor, he didn't have much time to work with the team. However, against Girona, playing at home, and if Rafa Leao decides to show up, they should have enough. Girona lost on the weekend, you said, at home with Sevilla, to make 4 defeats in the last 6 in all competitions. They could not enjoy as much as they dreamed this Champions League debut season. It's been tough for them. My take here, goals over 2.5, odds of 1.7.
Alain, this Milan is difficult to trust, but Girona shouldn't be a big or a tough rival for them.
Normally, yes. Normally, this type of game Milan managed very well this season, maybe except against Cagliari, but at home against a rival with technical value under about the Milan, normally they won and they score with that type of game. Now, 𝐿𝐭𝐴𝐳, the work of 𝐿𝐭𝐴𝐳 is a motivation work, because we saw the problem Fonseca have with the vestry, and especially with the left wing. And the left wing is the key in this Milan, because Theo and Leao make the difference in this team. And when both are not in a good day, like in Torino against Juventus, Milan is a normal team. If we had Pulisic is off, is out, Milan don't have a lot of solution, especially in offensive way. And when they defend, I think the things are not clear. I agree with Theo. The team with 𝐿𝐭𝐴𝐳 normally is a short team, aggressive team with high pressure and with solidarity. It's a collective team. And in that way, he has a lot of job because Milan right now is an individual team. And for that reason, when they meet team with the same value, technical value, they suffer a lot this season. And now playing in San Siro, the schedule offered to Milan to arrive to the first 8 position, because in the case of Milan who won the last 2 games, there will be entering the 8th best team in this Champions League, and it's important for 𝐿𝐴 that to have more time for working, to have to elevate the self-confidence about the guys. Now Girona away in Champions League, they don't score a goal since the beginning of the season. 3 games, 3 defeat. Maybe in Paris that deserve to catch something more, but in Graz was probably one of the worst game about Girona, and I feel something like Girona is a little tired at this moment of the season. We saw that in the last game, they lose a lot of that brilliantness who make Girona able to catch a spot, Champions League spot. I choose Milan winning with a handicap odds 1.68.
Well, they were worse than Sevilla at the weekend. Sevilla having more chances, and we know that Sevilla are struggling. So this Girona is difficult to trust indeed. Milan only 1 point away from Lille. So probably if they get the 6 points in these 2 games, they will qualify in the top 8. Also, we expect Arsenal to qualify in the top 8. Right now they are 3rd, and they are playing at home against Dinamo Zagreb. The odds are very low. Alain 1.1. At least one brilliant thing for Arsenal is their Champions League campaign with only 1 defeat against Inter. Since in the Premier League they are dropping points, getting farther away from Liverpool. In Europe they look very reliable.
Yes, but Dinamo Zagreb is a good news, not a big surprise, but it's a good news about this Champions League, because it's strange, but they dominate the Croatian football, but in his local league is already third right now. But in Champions League we saw funny games, because the games with Dinamo Zagreb we saw a lot of goals. They scored 10 goals from the beginning of the competition. They scored more goals than Aston Villa, Inter, same number of goals like Brest or Lille, who are top 8 about this Champions League, but they concede 15 goals. And against Arsenal, I see a lot of goals. Arsenal is not in his best moment. I think that the last step to be a dominant team for Arsenal is the most difficult step to arrive. Now, how many players Arsenal have to play 4 competition with Carabao, with FA Cup, Champions League, and Premier League? Maybe there miss something. I think Arsenal miss a lot. 𝐜𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐽 don't have a substitute to have a solution with the Norwegian player. They suffer that, and in the last weekend we understand one thing: Arsenal still suffering team with a really direct football. Emery played that football, and in counter-attack, in transition, they suffer a lot. They don't suffer a lot against Dinamo Zagreb, in my opinion, and I think we will see a really funny game. I choose over 3.5 goals, odds 2.14.
Well, Dinamo de Zagreb at the moment, Leo, they are qualified for the playoffs, but they have a very tough schedule, so probably they will drop.
Yes, and to be honest, I mean, after that dreadful debut against the Bayern Munich, to find themselves in a playoff spot has to be surprising even for themselves. I mean, and they could have been even in a better position, because let's not forget that they were 2-0 up against Monaco, and that game finished 2-2. And then on Matchday 6, even though they played a lifeless 0-0 with Celtic. 𝐻𝐿𝐴 Schmeichel, the Celtic goalkeeper, produced probably the best save of matchday 6 in the dying moments of the match. And by the end of the game, anyway, both sides, Dinamo Zagreb and Celtic, on that match day, they were happy with the point. But I think that Dinamo will leave everything to the last match day next week at home with Milan. Yes, it's Milan, but they're gonna be playing at home, and they know that the win will guarantee them going into the next stage. Usually the teams coming to the Emirates, they tend to play a low block. Even I was excited to go to the Emirates to watch Arsenal Monaco, looking forward to see Monaco, and even Monaco couldn't take the game into Arsenal's side for much of the game. PSG on match day 1 as well against Arsenal. The first half didn't cross the halfway line. And for all the noise surrounding Arsenal, all the injuries, players like Saka, now Saliba, we have to see if he's going to be fit. It doesn't look like to play on Wednesday. He didn't play against Aston Villa. For all that noise, of course, Gabriel Jesus out for the season. The Champions League have been a balsam for the Gunners. They're going to go straight into the last 16. They have won the last 2 match days, scoring 8 goals, 5 against Sporting, 3 against Monaco. They have conceded only 2 goals in 6 games. They are clear favorites here, of course, to win the game. Even when you look at the last 5 games of Arsenal, they won only 1, but probably they should have been winning 3 of the last 5, but not for the first time this season. We are seeing a team that is struggling to turn domination into points. So my take, as I said, I'm trusting this Arsenal in Champions League, especially at home. Arsenal to win 2-0, odds of 1.73.
Was it fair, the goal disallowed to Arsenal against Aston Villa, Leo?
For me, yes. For me, it's handball from Havertz, yes.
I agree. Well, Emi Martinez made a lot of saves. We will analyze, of course, Aston Villa also alive in this competition. Next game is Celtic Young Boys. Great opportunity for Celtic to qualify for the playoffs. We mentioned it at the beginning of the Champions League that according to the supercomputer, Ronan was telling us that Celtic had the easiest schedule. And now they have 9 points and they are playing the worst team in the competition at home. So if they win, they will be in the playoffs, and they are getting points when people didn't expect. Leo, for instance, against Atalanta or Bruges, also the one you mentioned in Zagreb. And Young Boys are terrible. Only 3 goals scored. They are 9th in the Swiss league. So we expect Celtic to win. Look at the odds, so low, only 1.3.
Absolutely, and to be honest, well, I mentioned before as well with when I talk about Dinamo Zagreb, Celtic was happy with that point. It meant a 4-match unbeaten run for them, which is giving them high hopes of reaching the knockout round. They have 9 points, and 7 of them coming from home wins against 𝐻𝐿𝐴 Bratislava and Leipzig, and a draw with Club Brugge, with Atalanta in Bergamo. They also managed that 0-0. In Zagreb, the man of the match was 𝐻𝐿𝐴 Schmeichel. And Celtic are still chasing anyway that away win in the Champions League. The last one happened 7 years ago with Brendan Rodgers also in the dugout. A win in Zagreb, yes, it would have guaranteed already the progress to the next stage, but that is very much there for the taking. The season, this season has shown what it seems a clearly evolving Celtic at this level. Let's not forget that in 4 of the last 5 Champions League before this season, Celtic finished bottom of their group. The only slight frustration with Dinamo, I believe, is like in the first half, they dominated possession a lot, but they couldn't create chances to win that game. But with Young Boys will be a different pressure as well for them, because they're at home, and again, they know a win will see them advance into the next stage, because then match day 8 is Aston Villa away. So the job has to be done this Wednesday. Young Boys, one of the 3 sides still without a point in the league phase, conceding 22 goals so far, more than any other team, losing 5-1 against Stuttgart on match day 6. So they return to competition only this weekend after the winter break, and they couldn't even get 3 points against the bottom side in the Switzerland league. So my take here, Edu, Alain, is Celtic half-time, full-time market 1.95.
Celtic must take the 3 points, Alain, also because they are finishing in Villa Park, which of course is not easy to get points from there.
No, but now is a good opportunity to stay with the best team. I think with 12 points there will be qualified for the next round. Where they improve Celtic respect to the last season is away. Leo said that the last winning in Champions League away was 7 years ago, but they lose during 7 years. They don't catch draw. And this season they got a brilliant results away. And if we check the results from the beginning of the season, they lose 2 games. One is probably the most painful game you can lose when you against Rangers 3-0, and the first game in Champions League in Dortmund. Except that Celtic don't lose any game. They are really confident for this game. You boys are not confident. You boys changed the manager during the break, the winter break. Contini, ex-assistant of Yakin national team, is coming, but against Winter Tour we don't saw an improvement. It's a no season for young boys right now, and that we must rebuild a new team for a new project. Celtic really favorite for this game. Young boys in Champions League defend really bad, but he's able to score. For that reason, I choose over 3.25 goals, odds 1.86.
Well, if you expect goals in Celtic Park, I'm sure you expect also in Rotterdam. Feyenoord Bayern Munich is the next one. Feyenoord with high chances also to qualify at least for the playoff. They have 10 points. They are scoring plenty of goals in this Champions League. 14. Remember this 3-3 with Man City of the last game. They beat Sparta Prague 4-2. They are not great lately, and they are 4th in the Eredivisie. They are finishing in Lille, so it's very tough for them to get points in these last 2 games. And Bayern Munich, Alain, they are forced to win in this tough stadium if they want to finish in the top 8 because they lost to Aston Villa or Barcelona away in this Champions League. So right now they are out of this top 8. They are 10th in the standings.
Yes, Feyenoord, the first season after the cycle with Arne Slot in the bench is difficult, especially against in the biggest match, because since the beginning of the season in the 𝐿𝐴𝐵, in his stadium, they lose every big match against Ajax, against Salzburg, who is not the best Salzburg in the last 10 years. They lose against Bayer Leverkusen 4-0. They lose against Utrecht, who is fighting with Feyenoord to catch a Champions League spot in Eredivisie. Bayern arrive. With Bayern, in my opinion, Bayern have a problem in the big match. Because if we check the results in the big match in Bundesliga and in Champions League, Bayern don't won a big match from the beginning of the season. And that one is the limit with company in the bench. Feyenoord, I don't consider Feyenoord a big game for Bayern. I think the difference is really marked between both teams, and I see Bayern winning this game with handicap 0.75, odds 1.62.
Okay, Bayern to win is 1.46. They are winning now in the Bundesliga, conceding, always entertaining this company's team, Leo.
Yes, they won the last last matches in Champions League and all their games in 2025. This Vincent Kompany side. On the weekend, yes, another entertaining game for them because it was a 3-2 against Wolfsburg. Anyway, the second game goal from Wolfsburg came in the dying moments of the game, so they never threatened to take anything from Bavaria. It's now Feyenoord and then Bratislava at home, Slovan Bratislava. So with 18 points, we could think of a chance of Bayern getting, of course, straight into the last 16 if further results go their way too. On Saturday, 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜, a player that at some point this season seemed to be on the way out, scored twice, and he's cementing his place in the starting 11 for Vincent Kompany. For Feyenoord, I mean, to find them like just 2 points away from Bayern Munich on match day 7, and the standing is better than anyone who have thought, myself included. Playoff position for them, the difference anyway in the odds for the bookies, I think, showed the real distance between the two sides. 3 wins in 6 and a massive draw against Manchester City away. This Champions League stage for them was a great win against Sparta Prague on match day 6. After 30 minutes, they were already winning 3-0. But Leroy Sané, Olise, Coman, and Kane should be too much for Feyenoord. I believe. I personally think like Alain, going for the handicap market. So my take is a little bit more higher up than Alain. Bayern Munich Asian handicap -1.5 in my case, odds of 2.1.
Okay, you both trust, of course, Bayern Munich, in this case with Asian handicap. They are 1 point short from the 8th spot, so very likely if they win in Rotterdam and then at home, they will qualify directly for the last 16 round. And the game of the games in this week in the Champions League is PSG Man City, because both teams need to win. We have PSG right now out of the next round with 7 points, and Man City with 8 qualified, but if they lose, they can see themselves coming into the last match day out of the competition and needed to win Bruges in the last game. PSG's last game is in Stuttgart, and this game comes probably with the best PSG of the season. They are winning all the games in France and against tough opposition this weekend in Lens, a very tough stadium. We are seeing the best 𝐬𝐵𝐵 also, and Man City is kind of recovering, Leo, in the last weeks after this horrible streak that's seen them right now pending from good for a bad game in the Parc des Princes to stay in the competition. Remember, they lost to Juventus or Sporting and drawn points with Feyenoord in this Champions League.
Yes, but at least they're going to be arriving to Paris, Alain, what it seems with good sensations, no? And glimpses of the old city slightly getting back. Yesterday, of course, there was no match with Ipswich, but still, to see them scoring 6 is not something we got very used to. This season, actually, only once they scored 4 or more goals in this season, and that was against Sparta Prague in the Champions League at home. The contract extension of Haaland for the next 10 years is good news, but it's not the only one. Phil Foden is recovering his footballing and goal-scoring form. 4 goals for him in the last 2 matches in the Premier League, 5 goals in 2025. Kevin De Bruyne is probably playing his last semester with the club. He's less affected than before, yes, but he's showing that he still cares. Yesterday he was asking for the ball all the time against Brentford. The same. James McAtee could be, why not, a Palmer in the making if he's allowed to flourish and he's given minutes. Scored a hat-trick in the FA Cup and one against Ipswich last night. For City, 2 defeats in the last 3 in Champions League, and they will finish next week with the Club Brugge at home. But more than a must win, this one is at least, do not lose this one, because at least 4 points they will need. So basically they cannot afford to lose in Paris, but the point will be very good for them. And I agree with you that PSG is enjoying the best moments of Ousmane Dembélé so far. How long that is going to last, only him knows. Alain might know best, but I know he didn't play on the weekend because he's injured, but I don't know if he's going to be fit or not to play this game. It's a shame as well that PSG cannot use 𝐿𝐴 because, of course, the rules establish that new additions need to be added for the next round. The same goes for Manchester City and Marmoush, Kusanov or Vitor Reis. I won't go X1 or X2, even though this PSG is undefeated in the last 10 in all competitions. They won 6 of the last 7. I still won't go X1 or X2. My take here is both teams to score yes plus goals over 1.5. Those two combined odds of 1.83.
Are we seeing, Alain, the best PSG of the season? Do you think they can harm this Man City?
It's a dangerous game for PSG because when we check the competition, Real Madrid, Celtic, PSV, maybe only Dinamo Zagreb has a difficult game. And with that, losing this game, especially we consider Stuttgart will be win in Bratislava. PSG must win this game. They can't lose that game because it should be a really bad news for Luis Enrique to don't go to the next stage. In Paris, they have obsession with Champions League, and we can win 10 Ligue 1 is not enough. Is not enough, and maybe the team is really young this season, and in my opinion, is a really light team. Is a really technical team, but in Champions League, they miss something in the physical impact, and we saw that against PSV, for example, a team with technical value under the level of Paris Saint-Germain, but with the physical way stronger than the team of capital of France. Now, Manchester City, Leo known better is reality. 2 months horrible. Guardiola live with his past and not with his present, because in a normal club with 2 months like Manchester City, you go out, you go out directly. And it's interesting to see the game between both the two friends, because Luis Enrique and Guardiola are big friends. There are manage a young team, Cadete in Barcelona, with Guardiola manager and Luis Enrique assistant. And after that, they follow a little the same way, because they manage the filial of Barcelona, the second team. Is clear Luis Enrique are a copy-paste of Guardiola in the model of play. Who is the best, the teacher or the student? In my opinion, it's difficult to find 1x2, but I choose the both team to score like Leo, but normally both team to score odds 1.53.
I cannot forget Luis Enrique's role as a Spanish manager, Alain, to answer the teacher. And that way of dying with your own ideas against Morocco, and this tiki-taka, boring, horizontal way of playing. But this is a great game indeed. If you check the standings, we have PSG right now out with 7 points. And as you said, Dinamo Zagreb is very difficult for them to get the 3 points, but PSV, Celtic, Real Madrid, or even Bruges can get points, so they can see themselves in the last match day almost out, and is a direct clash in the last game because they are playing against Stuttgart and both have 7 points, and Stuttgart is playing against Slovan Bratislava, so probably they will win. So it's a very delicate situation, the one for PSG. They had a tough schedule in the Champions League, probably the toughest one of all, but this is the new format. And the next game is Real Madrid-Salzburg. Real Madrid having a really bad Champions League with 3 wins and 3 defeats, but probably if they win this game, they are gonna go to Brest, at least in the playoffs. That it was positive because they went to Bergamo in the last match day with not only the ambition, but it was a must-win game, and Real Madrid saved that match ball. Now they are leaders in Spain after thrashing Las Palmas, still with many uncertainties in defense with Lucas Vázquez. But Alain, now we are seeing the best Mbappé, and I guess there are no doubts that this Salzburg, right now 5th in Austria, they shouldn't be an opposition for Real Madrid at home.
Yeah, but this is the worst Salzburg in the last 15 years. In his local is 5th, 10-point difference to the leader Sturm Graz. And maybe in Champions we saw the best version of this Salzburg this season. in spite of that, for Salzburg is the worst moment to meet the Real Madrid, because after the Super Cup, the team is upset. We saw that against Celta Vigo. We saw that against Las Palmas. The team is hungry, and the best version of Mbappé is coming. Maybe is the best version because Vinicius is not there. No, maybe we can start to ask them, because I don't know, but from the beginning, from Mbappe's sickness in Madrid, when both players play together, I don't saw that they find themselves continually, no, and that one can be an influence. It's strange to say, Real Madrid lose 2 Clásico, but in the baddest way, and there are leaders. Where is the problem of Barcelona? But Real Madrid found solution in the normal game. In the normal game, they won the game. Now with Las Palmas, we saw in the first half, we saw a team with the mentality to resolve the game quickly. And I think that there will have that mentality, because the classification in the table in Champions is not so good, and they need to win. For that reason, I see Real Madrid start really fast the game, and I choose over 1.25 goals in the first half, odds 1.52.
Probably a key role was played also by Dani Ceballos, with 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 out. Perhaps Tchouaméni is also out. Leo, we are seeing the best Ceballos, the best Rodrigo also on the left, because Vinicius was suspended, and Mbappé. But for this game, Vinicius is back, actually.
Yes, and Vinicius was crucial, had a great game in Bergamo against Atalanta. That was a crucial win for Real Madrid. Look, all Retegui needed to do was just to tap the ball into the net in the last second of that game, and he completely missed the target. I mean,
I think we would have had
we'll see. You think? I can't remember that. Just remember that he missed a sitter in front of the goal, and I was almost celebrating. I mean, we would have had Madrid outside of the playoff zone and adding spice to the last 2 match days. Nothing personal, just I wanted a little bit more spicy on these last 2 match days with Madrid outside of the playoff spots. But yeah, they are scoring for fun at the moment, even when they lost to Barcelona, they still scored 2 in the Super Cup. Since the 4th of December, when they lost 2-1 to Athletic Bilbao, they played 11 matches and scored 38 times. That's more than 3 goals a game. A comfortable win yesterday against Las Palmas. For one, they have 3 goals disallowed by VAR, so it could have been even more. Mbappé scoring a brace. He has 15 in all competitions, 2 in the Champions League, 1 in that game in Bergamo. He's enjoying his best time in Madrid so far, absolutely. Overall, it's 3 wins and 3 defeats for them in this league stage. Winning the last 2 will mean they're going to reach 15 points, and depending on many other results, maybe they could still marginally be allowing them to dream with the straight access to the last 16. The Salzburg lost 5 of the last 6 games. They replaced their manager. Their solitary win this league stage came against Feyenoord on match day 4. It's all Real Madrid to take. I'm taking the Asian handicap market route. Real Madrid Asian handicap minus 2.5, odds of 1.73.
Well, and the last game we are going to analyze on Wednesday is Sparta Prague Inter. Sparta Prague almost out of the competition with 4 points. They were thrashed by Atletico de Madrid in the last home game, 6-0. They are now not playing in the league, stopped because of the weather for winter, but they are third in the Czech league, and Inter have a great chance also to qualify in the top 8. They are 6th right now in the standings, so they are major favorites to win in Prague. They beat Empoli, Leo, with Lautaro, for instance, scoring in the last 2 games. The last game for them in the Champions League is Monaco at home.
Yes, and it's going to be, it seems like almost a dead rubber, this one, with the Sparta out of everything, but Inter needs to consolidate anyway the position in the top 8 before closing the league stage in San Siro against Monaco, as you mentioned. The defeat with Leverkusen on match day 6 was the first one in this Champions League and happened in the last minute. And actually it was the first goal they conceded so far in this Champions League this season. Yesterday, very good second half with that 3-1 home win against Empoli and Lautaro scoring. They are 3 points behind Napoli, but with the game in hand. In this league stage, the only question with Inter is which position they will occupy in the top 8. Sparta Prague 4 points were managed in the first 2 match days with that win against Salzburg and a draw in Germany against Stuttgart. But since then, 4 consecutive defeats and 17 goals conceded in those matches. They are without official competition since the 15th of December. Maybe it's one of the abnormalities of this new format, not that teams that have to play in January almost without any rhythm because their domestic leagues pose for a prolonged winter break. But my take here is, of course, all the way to Inter, a team which seems to me like they always, game by game, they put a notch up on the second half more often than not. So second half goals over 1.5, second half goals over 1.5, odds of 1.85. That's my take.
Okay, Inter, I guess, Alain, should win this game also with the eyes on the Serie A and the fight with Napoli for the Scudetto.
Yes, yesterday another important winning for Inter. Inter, in my opinion, is the favorite to Serie A. It depends a lot with the grade of motivation of the team, because sometimes we saw a team not involved in the game. But when the team are in the game, is the best team already in Italy with more experience. In every line they have, except the goalkeeper maybe, in every line they have player make the difference. From Lautaro until Bastoni and pass to 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 𝐿 is dominant player. I think that the difference with Sparta Prague is really strong. Sparta Prague is a team concede a lot in defense. There are really moving January with a lot of in and out, and that one will be affect the collective way to defend against this Inter. It's difficult to understand or imagine Inter no winning this game. This game is more important than maybe we can imagine, because to be in the first 8 position, Inter must yes to win this game. Is this game must to winning to be pretty sure to be in the next stage, because the last game is against Monaco and it's not so easy. It's not so easy, and it's important for Inter to catch this victory. For this reason, I choose Inter winning, odds 1.15.
Maybe with 4 points, Inter will be in the top 8. We have now 6 teams with 13 points, so it's really packed, the fight for the top 8, with another 4 teams with 12 points, so it's going to be very interesting for sure. The last match day, remember guys, this is it for Wednesday games in the Champions League. You can post your own tips also on Oddspedia and participate in our tipster competitions, and also create your own tipster competitions with your friends thanks to Rivals. Let's finish the video. Alain, safe bet?
Celtic winning, odds 1.33.
Leo?
Bayern Munich to win, 1.46.
And Yoraka, Leo?
Bayern Munich to win, PSG, Manchester City, both teams to score yes, Real Madrid, Salzburg, first half goals. Oh, this 3 leaves me with an ACCA of 3.9.
And Alain, Yoraka?
Celtic over 3.25 goals, Bayern winning with handicap 0.75, PSG, Manchester City, both teams to score, and Inter winning for a total 6.48.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Alain. Let's enjoy the Champions League. Bye-bye.